Hey guys, welcome into Faith in Football. My name is Neil, and you are here catching Trade Talk Tuesday. Got a lot to get to, got a lot of rumors going around out there. But as always, remember faith before football. So, what are we talking about today in the faith aspect of this channel? We're talking reaction versus reality. What am I talking about? What do I mean? Well, let me ask you this. How many times in fantasy do we react to a perceived image of a player? Like we say, oh, he's on a bad team. He's no good. I can't use him. I need somebody who's on a winning team. I need somebody who's productive. You know, if he's on a bad team, he's not productive. How many times do we say to ourselves, and me, myself included, how do we look at ourselves and go, man, there's no way God can use me. There's no way, I'm nothing. I'm nobody. I'm just an average person. The last time I checked, that's really what God uses. Don't believe me? Okay, let's run down a few stories, shall we? Now, our verse today is going to come from 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 3. But before we hit that at the end of this, I want to show you something. You know, people say that I've run away from God, that I've turned my back, that he's not going to take me back, that I've done too much bad for him to forgive me. Did you kill somebody? No. Moses did. That's right. God chose Moses to lead the nation of Israel out of 400 years of bondage by the Egyptians. But he had killed a man, killed an Egyptian. Now, he did something he thought he was doing right, because he killed a man for abusing one of his countrymen, but he went about defending that person in the wrong way. Well, after he did it, he realized that he was wrong, and he ran off for a good long while. God still called him back. Exodus chapter 2, verse 12. Go look it up. He killed a man, buried him in sand, took off running. A while later, God comes knock and says, hey, I need you. I'm going to use you. You're my guy. Wait a minute, he just killed a guy. But God still used him in a mighty way. Need some more convincing? Okay. He used Saul. Some of you know him as Paul. That's right. The guy who wrote a good portion of the New Testament. Guy who was all out for Christ. Guy who met Jesus on the road to Damascus. Fell on his knees. He saw God. Said, who are you? Says, I'm the God that you're persecuting. This guy went around killing and imprisoning people because they talked about Jesus. Last time I checked, that really isn't a glowing recommendation for a job for God. I mean, who would have thought? There was even people after Saul turned that were like, hey, no, I'm not going near that dude. I'm a follower of Christ. This guy kills followers of Christ. He imprisons them. He treats them bad. He beats them. He was at the stoning of Stephen and condoned it. He was like, yeah, go ahead. But God used him in a mighty way. Need to go look that one up? Acts chapter 9, verse 15. You'd be like, okay, well, look, I haven't persecuted anybody. I haven't killed anybody, but I've done some really messed up things. I've been immoral. I've been just in a bad place. I've done bad things. Were you a prostitute? Just take money for sex? Guess what? Rahab. One word, Rahab. That's all I got to say. Go and look it up. Joshua chapter 2, verse 1. The spies went in to the city and they went to the home of a prostitute. God used that prostitute to hide his spies, to hide his people, and they found out some information that was crucial in the fall of Jericho. He used her. She was nobody of any consequence in her town. Matter of fact, she was looked down upon. Her family was looked down upon. But God not only saved her, but her family as well for helping out. He used her. You're like, well, yeah, but I've run away. I refused to, to do what God told me to do. I wanted to go do my own thing. And I don't think he can take me back. I don't think he can use me. Well, Jonah, chapter 1, verse 2. God told Jonah, go preach to these people over here. He was like, nope, I'm going this way. Yeah, he bought a ticket, went down to the pier and got on a boat and shot out. But God chased after him. If God didn't want to use him, why would he chase after somebody that he didn't want to use? God chases after us. So there's a common theme here. See, they were willing to do what God asked of them. They had to turn. After they turned to him, they turned. They were going this way. God's over here. They went, oh, this is how I should be going. This way is no good. I need to be going this way. They came to a point in their life where they realized that their way is kind of off. How many times do we in our life we look around and we go, man, I don't know why things aren't working out the way I planned them. Maybe because you're working off the wrong plan. See, the reality is that no matter how bad you think you have been, God still has a purpose. He still has a use for your life. We just got to open ourselves up. I want to read to you from our verse of the day. 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 3 says, clearly, you are a letter from Christ, showing the results of our ministry among you. This letter is written not with pen and ink, but with the Spirit of the living God. It is carved not on a tablet of stone, but on a human heart. Guys, your story, God's plan for you is in here. It's right with us. We're covering it up with all the denial, with all the I can't and I won't and I don't want to. And stop. Just stop. See, we're very reactionary. We react to things. Something happens over here, we react this way. Something happens over there, we react that way. This is what I'm talking about, reaction versus reality. Because the reality is Jesus Christ. The reality is that we can be used no matter what our reaction has been before. No matter what our reaction was when God called us to serve whatever purpose he deems fit for our life. You might have been fighting the purpose for your life. Maybe that's why things are a little off for you. Maybe that's not why you're fulfilled. You might have a nice car, you might have a nice home, might have a good family, might have a good job. But there's something missing. See, we try to fill that God-shaped hole in our lives with other things. Here's the problem. The God-shaped hole is pretty big. And there's nothing in this world, on this earth, in our realm of existence that can fill it. Accept what was made to fill it. And that's Jesus Christ. That's the Holy Spirit. That's God coming into your life and changing you and making you better and making you what he intended you to be. So today I ask you, as you go out, as you listen to the football side of it, I want you to remember, God's got a plan. He wants to use you. Stop running. Just stop. Take a second. The Bible tells us to be still and know that I am God. And then we're commanded to go. Go tell others. Go share the word. I try to use this to share the word. I do my best, and I fall short many times of sharing my faith in my everyday life. But there are other ways to share. You can share on social media. You can share in your actions. You can share in ways that are unconventional. It's up to you to open yourself up. So raise your hands and thank God for the blessings that he has bestowed upon us. Move forward in his light. I hope that was uplifting for you guys. And don't forget that verse, 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 3. So now that we got the faith part ironed out and laid out for you guys, and hopefully it's sticking here and it's sticking here. I want to see it come out of this. Down at the bottom, subscribe, like, and share, and tell me how God's using you today. Okay? So let's get into the football aspect. We got some injuries to go over, but first, I need to apologize to Joe Burrow and all the managers that listened to me and benched him. Sorry. My bad. I got no other excuse. I don't hit them all 100% of the time. I mean, come on, really? I mean, did you really think he was going to ball out like that? Over 400 yards passing against a Baltimore defense at home? Against Baltimore? In Baltimore? Are you kidding me? Look, he just went off. Lamar, not so much. So real quick, last week's start sits, the only ones that I missed was Burrow, Donovan Peoples-Jones, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Now, my defense, again, like I said, I didn't think that Burrow was going to do all that, not at home. And as far as Donovan Peoples-Jones go, who knew he was going to pull his groin pregame? Come on. Freak accident. You never know. So, sorry, guys. I'm pausing just 1 second. I'll be right back. Sorry, guys. I'm back. So, yes, I learned how to use the pause button. I know. Aren't you proud of me? So, like I said, the only ones I missed were Amon-Ra St. Brown. Look, I got no excuse on that one. I just thought he was going to do a little something special. He did wound up not doing it. Burrow, I've apologized for. I'll stop doubting Joe Burrow. You all hear my dog Suki. She's trying to make an entrance into the show. She's a little sharky. She's really cute. Might bring her on one day. Not right now, because it hasn't been planned. I got to open the door. I'm in my studio right now. But anyway, let's get on. Oh, if you were the Zach Ertz owner, you're welcome. Ricky Seals-Jones, not too bad. Dearness Johnson, hey, what can I say? You're welcome. James Conner, not bad. Not bad. Jameis Winston, yeah, I know. Look, I gave you Tua and I gave you Carr. I don't know what else to tell you out of that. Garrett Williams, told you guys, lower your expectations for him. Gibson was out-snapped, if I'm not mistaken, 46-30 by J.D. McKissick. So moving forward, I'm telling you right now, if you're able to move Gibson, this is a sell low and get out of town type deal. if you've got somebody that's willing to take Gibson on name value, go ahead. We'll talk about a little bit about that when we get into the trade aspect of this. Let's see. I do want to go down. One of the bigger issues that we had, one of the huge scares of the week was Patrick Mahomes. The report has come out that he has cleared concussion protocol, that he should be good to go. And I don't want to say this negatively, but I'm hoping that whatever happened to him kind of knocked him back into place where he's back to what he used to be. Maybe it woke something up inside of him. I don't know, because I don't know what's wrong with the man. I don't know what's been going on with him, but he has not been the Patrick Mahomes that we all know and love as fantasy owners this year. Kenyon Drake has been surprisingly good. He had 16.7 points in PPR, if I'm not mistaken. That was with about 3 minutes left to go. Foster Moreau, if you guys were Darren Waller owners, this kind of came out of left field. But remember, get the Sleeper app and you will not go without the news and the information that you need last minute to make those decisions. And remember, you guys can hit me up on Twitter at Faith, the letter N, Football1. Hit me up with your last minute questions if things like this happen. Look, Foster Moreau was a outstanding pickup for all those Darren Waller owners. If you had room to drop somebody, even if you didn't, you could, maybe you had an IR spot that you could move somebody around. However you needed to get him on. Good job. Zach Wilson gone, and this news broke Monday during the Monday night game with Seattle and New Orleans. And if you watched that game, I'm sorry, I watched it with you, and it was absolutely horrid game. The only reason I watched was this, and I'm gonna show you. This is what we call winning by the skin of your teeth. Okay. So this is absolute crazy total. This was my listener league right down here. I was up against Larry's boss team. I beat them 146.59 to 146.09. I was sweating out Alex Collins. I never thought that I would say those words on this show, that I was sweating out Alex Collins. Rashad Penny, okay. Chris Carson, okay. DK Metcalf, if I didn't have DK, sweating out DK Metcalf, okay. Even Tyler Lockett, no problem. Russell Wilson, if he was playing, okay. But sweating out Alex Collins, they made me watch the entire game. Like, they couldn't just let him score 60 yards and I could have turned the game off and gone to bed. No, it had to go down to the last minute. But I'll take the win. Thank you very much. And whoever Larry's boss team is, I would say sorry, but I'm not. But anyway, if you got a bad beat like that, if you were on the opposite end, if you were on the receiving end or something like that, down the bottom, share it. Matter of fact, go on my Twitter at Faith, the letter N, Football1. Put it up on there, tag me in it, and I'll retweet it for you, okay? So, Zach Wilson, this news broke. He is out for at least 2 to 4 weeks. And with that news came the other news that Joe Flacco is going from Philly back to New York or Jersey. For those of you who know where the Jets play, he's going back to the Jets. Not exactly what Jet fans had in mind, but we'll see how that turns out. Not really sure. I don't really know what to think about that just yet. Look, Kenneth Gainwell has been a really good pickup if you are in dire straits. If you're on the bye week, and we're going to talk bye weeks next show. We're going to make sure that your lineup's set on Thursday. The Thursday game, guys, Thursday game is going to be interesting. We've got Packers versus the Cardinals, and the Packers are missing two of their main targets. Davante Adams, I know if you're scrambling, and everybody scrambling. I had an argument with this guy on the Sleeper Q&A. So if you're out there and you're watching this, I hope you are. How's that Lazard pick looking for you now? We had a little disagreement that I thought Cobb should have been the pickup. He thought Lazard was going to be the pickup, that Lazard's this and Lazard. Okay, great. But Alan Lazard just reported today that he is on the COVID list, and he will probably be out along with Davante Adams, which means that Randall Cobb shoots up to number 1 on the Packers receiving depth chart. Now, not only is that important, but the fact that this is the only guy that Aaron Rodgers personally requested a trade for. He got out of Houston, got him to Green Bay. They're now 6-1. They haven't lost since week 1 against the Saints. RELAX. That's all Aaron Rodgers has to say. Relax. I got this. We're good. So, if you guys saw on SportsCenter, they did a little side-by-side. There's no Davante, no problem. They've been through this before. They've been there, done that. It's not going to be an issue as far as the win goes. But as far as the production goes, here's what's going to be interesting. You're talking about an uptick for Robert Tonyan. You're talking about an uptick for Aaron Jones. You're talking about an uptick for Randall Cobb, and maybe CVS, MV. We got a drugstore playing now. I know. I just said that. MVS. Sorry, he plays like CVS because he's just not that good. Anyway, my advice is go pick up Randall Cobb. Do it quickly before anyone else beats you to it. My league of record's already been done. Khalil Herbert definitely needs to be rostered. Also, Matt Nagy, head coach of the Bears, has reportedly had tested positive for COVID. This, and this is me being cynical here for a moment, this might be a really good thing for the Chicago Bears, and Khalil Herbert, for Allen Robinson, for any target that you have on the Bears if Matt Nagy is not calling plays, because he's just not good. So we'll see what happens. Keep an eye on it. If he does have 2 negative tests within 24 hours of each other, then he is cleared to come back. But as fantasy managers, let's cross our hands and just give the man about a week off, okay? Let's just see what can happen. Let's see. Rumor mill. Guys, I got to talk about the rumor mill here. Deshawn Watson. Rumors are flying fast and furious, and from my understanding, if he is traded, he will be available to play immediately. The league is not going to do anything until all these civil matters are settled. There's a lot of them, along with the criminal matters, and they're not going to do anything until that is settled. So, if you have a roster spot, if you've only got one quarterback, and you can go ahead and, put him out there, go get you Deshaun Watson, because the rumor is he's going to Miami. You got Miami, you got Carolina. I've heard Philly, possibly Denver. So I've heard those 4 mentioned. He does have a no trade clause. The belief is that if he goes to Carolina, he will waive the no trade clause and be traded to Carolina. That would be really, really good for you DJ Moore owners. That would be just outstanding. If he goes to Miami, Jalen Waddle gets an uptick. Any receiver that's actually healthy. So Will Fuller. Okay. Speaking of Will, if you are in a kicking, if you are in a league that has a kicker Will Lutz is done for the year. He's called it himself. Also, Dustin Hopkins has been signed by the Chargers. This is important because now he's on a team that actually scores more points. I know. I'm talking bad about my team, but I'm realistic. Okay, I've told everybody for years I might be a Washington Redskin fan, and I will always be a Redskin fan. Okay, I will be a Redskin fan until I die. There will always be the Redskins to me, but they're not scoring a lot of points right now. What can I say? He's on a team now that does score a lot of points in the Chargers. So if you are in a league that has a kicker, go get Dustin Hopkins and start him with all confidence. I myself have Young Wiku. I'm good. And it took me a while to get him. Took a bye week or something. Somebody dropped him. So let's see. DJ Shark is out for the season. Not really important because a lot of you had already dropped him. Let's see. Tyrod Taylor is supposed to be back, and I know everybody who has a Brandon Cooks on their team is crossing their fingers and praying a whole lot. Please, God, let Tyrod Taylor come back because Brandon Cooks has not been productive with Mr. Mills. Sorry. Nick Chubb is also expected back. Now, here's the thing. Dearness Johnson still can be a valuable asset for you in fantasy this week. Now, remember, he's probably only a 2 to 3 week rental at the best. Look for when Kareem Hunt comes back, then he'll really, really fall off. But Nick Chubb coming back does take a hit in his production. But don't think that Nick Chubb is going to come back and get a full workload. He will probably still have a split. But if you're a Nick Chubb owner, you're used to that split. You're probably looking at Dearness Johnson falling into the Kareem Hunt role and Nick Chubb coming back and taking his role. Miles Sanders. I recently traded for him and I recently dropped him. Why? Because he twisted his ankle. And Jordan Howard is due back soon, if not this week, then next. So you're kind of SOL in that case. If Miles Sanders is out, Jordan Howard comes back, then Howard's going to be valuable there. The Cowboys have designated Michael Gallup to return to off of IR. His practice window is open. They now have 21 days to put him on the active roster. This is important because you're going to have another asset taking up spots or taking up targets away from Amari Cooper, away from CeeDee Lamb. It's basically going to be, I don't want to say a cheaper version of the Bucs, but a similar version of the Bucs where you have 3 wide receivers that are all valuable fantasy assets and 1 really good quarterback. So let's see. Jimmy G is also supposed to start this week against the Bears. Trey Lance is on pace to return to practice, but Jimmy will keep his job at the moment. Also, Jerry Jeudy. If you have been holding on to Jerry Jeudy, like I have been in my listener league with 1037 The Game, this is important because you need to find roster space to put Jerry Jeudy back on your roster, and you're going to be starting him against Washington. Hate to say it, but you need to fire him up. Let's see. And that will do it for all the rumors, the trades, all that kind of good stuff. Let's get into trade talk. I'm going to give you guys 2 of each position to go after and why. And we're going to do a buy low, sell high type deal. If you were the Joe Burrow owner, and this was actually done in my league of record, and this was just sad in of itself. I'm going to show you guys right here. Let's go to Sleeper. Here is the trade that happened. Sorry, that's my report. However, I did get a high score this week, so I'm very, very happy about that. So here we are. Dalton, Mr. Garbage Cans. He got Joe Burrow, and all he had to do was give up Hunter Renfrow. What? Look, guys, if you're listening, Charles, why, dude? Why? Okay, come on, man. Look, Joe Burrow for Hunter Renfrow, I would have almost made that deal. I mean, I've got Josh Allen, I got Matt Stafford. I really don't need Joe Burrow. I'm good at quarterback. But dang, that was robbery. That was somebody call 911. Okay, call the police, call somebody to get in here. And I'm shaking my screen because I'm just in disbelief. When this went through, I was, what? I know, I was like Scooby, Roro. Can't believe it. So yes, Joe Burrow. If you were the Joe Burrow owner, here's the thing. You probably drafted him to be your backup. Okay. Now, if you picked him up, or if you drafted him to be your backup, that means you probably got a decent quarterback, unless it was Russell Wilson. Because Russell Wilson, please God, hold on to him. Okay. Don't trade him. Hold up until about week 10. Okay. And then we'll see what Russ looks like when he gets back. But here's the thing. If you're hurting a running back, if you're hurting a wide receiver, you should take no less than 2 players for Joe Burrow. And I'm not talking Hunter Renfrow. I'm talking somebody decent. Okay, somebody who's going to be productive. Okay. So, the one thing that you don't want to do, and these are things that people really don't think about, whatever you do as a Joe Burrow owner, and if you are not the Jamar Chase owner, do not trade Joe Burrow to the guy who has Jamar Chase. That is a recipe for disaster for your entire league. Okay. Last year, I was able to swing a trade just before the playoffs. Okay. It's about week 11 for Derrick Henry. Now, Derrick had a few down games, and he had a couple of rough matchups coming up, but his stretch run through the playoffs was cake. So I swung a trade, and believe me when I tell you that everyone was, I don't want to say hated because it's a really strong word, but everyone was extremely displeased with the person who let me have Derrick Henry. And the rest is history, because I wound up second to my wife, which is good for the brand. It's bad for my ego, but I'm trying to diminish my ego and stay on brand, stay on point. Buy low. Here's the thing that I never thought I would say, that I'd never be able to say. Buy low on Patrick Mahomes. I know it's crazy, especially if you're the Tyreek Hill owner. If you're a Tyreek Hill owner, go to the Patrick Mahomes owner, look at their roster and see where they're hurting. Take 2 players, package deal them, and send that trade to the Patrick Mahomes owner. Make sure that their backup quarterback is decent, because if the backup quarterback is garbage, they're probably going to turn your deal down. If you've got a backup quarterback that you're willing to lose, by all means, go after Patrick Mahomes, because we all know that he will right the ship and he will come back to be the Patrick Mahomes that we all know and love. So, sell high on Joe Burrow, buy low on Patrick Mahomes. Next up, Damian Harris. Look, after the week that Damian Harris had, trust me, you're going to want to sell high on this guy, okay? But here's the thing. You probably want to sell high after week 11. Why do I say that? let me show you what I'm talking about, okay? And I just happen to have Harris, so this is what I've been looking at. If we come down here, he's got a late bye in week 14, okay? He gets the Chargers, who you can run on. He gets Carolina, who you can definitely run on. He's going to get a beat-up Cleveland team. He's going to get Atlanta. That's all I need to say. They're back. Tennessee, this is why I say after the Atlanta game, sell Damian Harris. Here's the thing. If you're hurting, if you're at, let's say you're at 3-4, you're at 4-3, you're kind of middle of the pack. You really haven't made a move. You've just been treading water right now, but you need to cement a couple of wins. Damian Harris can help you out for the next few weeks. You've got about a month worth of Damian Harris where he's got really good matchups. Then you get to Tennessee, who is finding their way as a defense. Then you get Buffalo, #1 defense in fantasy right now. Then you get a bye in week 14. Guys, week 14, that's a make or break week for the playoffs. Your playoffs are weeks 15 and 16 with the Super Bowl coming on week 17. And I see that Jacksonville on week 17. But guys, if you're not able to get into the playoffs, what good does it do you? If you can swing a deal for Damian Harris, for somebody who is desperate at running back, and catapult you into a really good position, I mean, who knows who you could get for Damian Harris at that point? You could package him with somebody and maybe, I don't know, maybe you get a, Darrell Henderson. Just saying. But this is what I want to tell you guys. Now is the time when you've got to look at two things when you do your lineup and when you do trade talks. One, you've got to look at the weather when you start your lineup, okay? And we'll talk about that a little more Thursday. I'll remind you guys Thursday. Definitely watch your weather. If your weather's going to be messed up, like it was with San Fran in Indy, all right, on Sunday night, torrential downpour. It was a bad game on Monday night. It was rain the whole time. Run game was on point. Okay, well, I'm not going to say on point, but it was definitely locked in the run game. There wasn't a whole lot of passing going on, okay? So when you have bad weather, when you have snow, when you have rain, stuff like that, you've got to factor that in to your matchup, because you're going to have a guy who's been really, really productive that's just going to fall off a cliff. And then you're going to have a guy he's been okay, but he's going to have a better game because he's playing in better conditions or he's playing in a dome, okay? Talk about bad conditions. This next guy, Melvin Gordon. Buy low on this guy, okay? Look, he's got a nice stretch before and after the bye. We'll take a look at it right now, okay? Let's take a look. Melvin Gordon. He might be, man, you really know your league and who's got everybody. No, it's just the fact that my wife has Melvin Gordon and I know it. So let's go down here. Check out Mel Gordon. Yes, she has Cooper Kupp as well. Don't say anything. I don't want to hear about it. Yes, he had a bad game this past week. He did find the end zone, and yes, he only got 32 yards rushing. Total is 32 yards, but he still got in the end zone, so we're good. He comes up against Washington, then he gets Dallas, then he gets Philly. Look, that's 3 defenses I would love to get a hold of. Okay, then he gets a bye week 11. Great. Here's the thing. You got the Chargers you can run against. KC, horrible defense. Detroit, even worse. Cincinnati, Vegas, okay. Then the Super Bowl, you get the Chargers again. In LA, that's pretty good. Pretty good matchup right there. Okay, you get a Vegas game, week 16. Really don't have to worry about the weather. Now, the Cincinnati game, you're probably going to have to worry about the weather. The Detroit game, you might have to worry about the weather. But here's the thing, is that when it's a bad weather game, running backs do really, really well. So wide receivers, you got to watch out for, okay? So the only thing that you also have to watch about Mel Gordon is Javonte Williams. If Javonte Williams is taking over and out snapping him, great. But I don't see Melvin Gordon slowing down anytime soon unless it's for injury. And if I just jinxed him, sorry, guys. So, wide receiver. Why do you want to sell D-Hop? He's doing phenomenal. Here's the problem, is that he hasn't had over 10 targets all year. Okay. McLaurin has more. Of course, Devontae has more. CeeDee Lamb has more. All these guys have had more targets. He doesn't average 10. These other guys are averaging 10. Okay. D-Hop is overproducing. Okay. He's overachieving. Yes, he can score a touchdown. Yes, he's getting force fed. Yes, he can get the yardage. But here's the thing. At some point in time, that efficiency that he's working with right now is going to fall off. Okay. So when that efficiency falls off, what are you left with? Nothing. So sell high on D-Hop. He's yet to reach double-digit targets this year. Use the name, use the fact that he's with the only undefeated team in the league, and he's attached to an outstanding quarterback. And I know it sounds like I'm making a case against trading him, but here's the thing. You can get a good, solid wide receiver or a running back for that price, okay? Now, the guy that you buy low on, DJ Moore. Look, DJ had a bad game 2 weeks in a row. His quarterback is erratic. But if it happens that Deshawn Watson winds up in Carolina, how pumped are you going to be as a DJ Moore owner? And I know this is pie in the sky type thing, but he's had good play right now, and he's not going to cost a lot. So if you're wrong, you're wrong. No big deal. It's no big loss. You're not letting go of anyone that you're going to miss anyway. And the upside on DJ Moore is through the roof. Okay. Now, tight end. Look, we're all hurting a tight end. TJ Hawkinson, buy low. Okay. You survived the week 9 bye. Got a bye coming up. Okay. Pay attention. The playoff run for Detroit. Look, they're going to be in negative game script all season long, okay? And when I say negative game script, I mean that they're going to be behind. They're going to have to throw the ball. Who else is Jared Goff going to throw to? Nobody. Eventually, they've got to get TJ Hawkinson open, and eventually he's going to blow up. Now, this next guy that you sell high on, you sell him right now, like this week. Don't wait, because it ain't gonna happen again. I say that and watch it happen. CJ Houshmann. CJ did outstanding with Joe Burrow. If you can move him to the Joe Burrow owner, even better, because you now handcuff, well, let's just say you ball and chain CJ to Joe Burrow. And the Joe Burrow owner will want those double points. And he will chase this game all season long. Look, give you a prime example. Last year, I had Joe Mixon. I traded Joe Mixon for Darrell Henderson. I know this year, cool. I'm down with that. But last year, Joe Mixon went on a 42-point game the week that I traded him. And it went against me. I was a little hurt, but then the rest of the season played out. If I had Joe Mixon go off with 42 points on my squad, there's no way I would have let him go, because I would have been chasing that 42-point game all season long. So don't let that one big game, that outlier game, that game that's never going to happen again, haunt you for the rest of the season. Use it. Let someone else deal with it. Let it be someone else's problem. Okay? So, CJ, if you have him, don't go get him. Don't go get him off the waiver wire. Okay? Just hold on. Unless, well, I take it back. Unless you see somebody that's hurting at tight end, then go scoop him up, go to him and go, hey, you want CJ? I already got a tight end I'm good with. I'll let CJ go and maybe get some running back depth. You never know what you might be able to swing. Prime example, Hunter Renfrow or Joe Burrow. Really? Charles, you got scammed, bro. That's all I got to say. So, guys, I hope that helped you out with Trade Talk. Remember, don't forget my sponsors. Don't forget Keller's Bakery in Youngsville, 627 Lafayette Street off the Youngsville Highway. Mention Faith in Football sent you. Get you 2 free mini cupcakes with your purchase. And go see Zia of Lafayette. Zia off of Ducey Road behind the Grand Theater off Johnson Street and in front of Red Laurel's Health Club. Look, they're running some outstanding food right now. They're got the trout mock soup. If you want to be a little healthier, that's great. They got you covered. Coastal shrimp salad is off the chain. Look, lemon brine shrimp, artichoke hearts, pecans, sun-dried tomatoes, regular tomatoes, salad greens. Look, you got to go try some. They got fried capers on this thing. It's an explosion in your mouth. Flavor out of this world. Go check them out. If you want to get a little unhealthy, hit the grits. You won't be sorry. Okay? Remember, guys, football is good, but always keep faith first. For Faith in Football, my name is Neil. You guys, God bless. Have an awesome week, and we'll see you back here on Thursday to set your lineup and help you throttle up for Thursday. All right, guys? We'll see you next time. Take care. God bless.